The two things that firefighters are most afraid of are the box on the back of the ambulance and the push-to-talk button on the radio. NIOSH conducts reports on line-of-duty deaths, and they find that a common factor in many of them is poor communication. Today we're going to discuss communication and try to improve on some of the skills that we already have.
In July 2007, a fire officer and driver-operator died during a fire in a 1950s single-story wood frame house in Contra Costa, California. The firefighters were members of the first unit to arrive at the incident and were attempting to locate and rescue two elderly residents reported to be at the structure. Upon arrival, the officer established command, then passed command to what he thought was the next arriving unit, and advanced an attack hose line into the front of the structure. After controlling the fire in the front portion of the house, the two firefighters proceeded to make a search of the bedrooms, one of which was later determined to be the source of the fire. Other firefighters searched the kitchen area, locating and removing one of the victims. Rapid fire development caused by the improper use of positive pressure ventilation and the ignition of fire gases occurred at this point, trapping and killing the two firefighters in the bedroom area. The second victim was later located in the kitchen area. Investigators of Contra Costa County Fire Protection District, or CCCFPD, and the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH, determined that there were multiple factors that contributed to these line-of-duty deaths. However, the reports did determine that poor communication played a major role. The CCCFPD report stated clear and concise radio communications combined with good radio discipline are key elements of safe and efficient emergency operations. Among the radio communications problem, the following were noted. The private alarm company that received the initial alarm delayed notifying the fire dispatch center. The dispatch center, which was experiencing a high volume of radio traffic, delayed the dispatch of additional units. The outgoing officer did not receive an acknowledgement when passing command. This resulted in a lack of formal incident command and a delay in determining that the firefighters were missing when the fire conditions rapidly changed. And without an established and operating incident command system, information was not relayed to units on scene in a timely fashion, and strategic decisions were delayed. Here at Bear Creek, we have multiple tools that are used for communicating. We have eDispatch, we have our radios on the apparatus, we have radios that are designed for our SAR operations like snowmobile or mountain rescue. We have radios that we use for our medical calls and fire calls. We have pagers, and we also have landlines. When communicating on the radio, remember to use the ABCs of good communication. Be accurate, brief, and concise. Excessive radio traffic prevents critical transmissions that could save lives. When talking on the radio about letters, make sure to use the phonetic alphabet. An example would be if you were to describe a structure, you have the Alpha side, Bravo side, Charlie side, and Delta side of the building. That way you can clearly and accurately describe what you need. Another good practice in radio communication is to use plain language. Using 10 codes and jargon is going to lead to communication errors. In the 1970s, there is a 13-day period in Southern California where 773 wildfires burned down over 500,000 acres and destroyed over 700 homes, and 16 people were killed. At the time, there was no widely accepted standard for organizing a management structure at an emergency. One of the things that came out of this wildland fire was the creation of the Incident Command System, later known as the National Integracy Incident Management System, or NIMS. The ICS chose to adopt plain language because it promotes transparency and increases safety.